In the heart of a vast, prehistoric forest, where giant trees touched the sky and strange creatures roamed, lived a young boy named Rurik. Rurik was curious and brave, always eager to explore the world around him. One day, while following a winding stream near his village, he heard a soft cry coming from a thicket of tall ferns. Curiosity piqued, Rurik carefully pushed aside the ferns and gasped. There, nestled in a bed of leaves, was a tiny, helpless creature, a saber-tooth tiger cub. Its fur was a soft, golden brown, and its big eyes blinked up at Rurik with a mix of fear and curiosity. Rurik knew that saber-tooth tigers were fierce predators, but this one was different. It was alone, abandoned, and too young to survive on its own. Without hesitation, Rurik gently scooped up the cub and cradled it in his arms. "I'll take care of you," he whispered. "I'll call you Saber." Rurik brought Saber back to his village, where the elders warned him of the dangers of raising a wild beast. But Rurik was determined. He fed Saber with the little meat he could spare and kept him warm by the fire at night. As the days turned into weeks, the bond between boy and tiger grew stronger. Saber was no ordinary pet. He was a fierce hunter, even as a cub, but he was also fiercely loyal to Rurik. The villagers marveled at how the two were inseparable. Rurik taught Saber how to stalk prey, and in return, Saber protected Rurik from the dangers of the wild. As Saber grew, so did his strength and size. His once small teeth became long, curved fangs, and his muscles rippled under his sleek fur. But to Rurik, he was still the same gentle cub he had found by the stream. One day, a terrible drought struck the land. The rivers dried up, and food became scarce. The animals in the forest grew desperate, and the village was in danger of being attacked by wild predators. The villagers turned to Rurik and Saber for help. Rurik knew this was their chance to prove that Saber was not just a wild beast, but a protector of the village. Together, they ventured deep into the forest to find a new source of water. With Saber's keen senses and Rurik's knowledge of the land, they discovered a hidden spring that saved the village from the drought. But the dangers were not over. On their way back, they were ambushed by a pack of hungry wolves. Rurik's heart raced as the wolves circled them, growling and snarling. But Saber stood tall and roared, his fangs gleaming in the sunlight. The wolves hesitated, then fled into the forest, leaving Rurik and Saber unharmed. Years passed, and Rurik grew into a strong young man. Saber, now a full-grown saber-toothed tiger, was a majestic creature feared and respected by all. The bond between them was unbreakable, a true testament to their years of companionship and trust. One day, as Rurik sat by the stream where he had first found Saber, he realized something important. Saber was no longer just his friend. He was a symbol of the balance between man and nature. The villagers had come to respect Saber, and through him, they had learned to live in harmony with the creatures of the wild. Rurik knew that one day, Saber might return to the forest where he belonged, but he also knew that their friendship would never be forgotten. For in the heart of every child in the village, the tale of Rurik and Saber would be passed down through generations, a story of courage, loyalty, and the special bond between a boy and his saber-toothed tiger. As Rurik and Saber stood on a hill overlooking their village, the sun setting in the distance, they knew their journey together was far from over. The forest was vast, and there were still many adventures to be had. With a final roar, Saber leaped forward, Rurik close behind, ready to face whatever the wild had in store for them. And so, the tale of Rurik and Saber, the boy and his saber-toothed tiger, became legend, inspiring all who heard it to cherish the bonds they shared with the creatures of the earth, both big and small.